I would argue, I mean, is it their best win this season? It's not the most convincing win. They beat the snot out of the Bears. They beat the crap out of Baltimore. But considering the team, people, what we want to do is we want to almost take away from a team. Well, Baltimore's not that good this year. You know why Baltimore's not that good this year? Because Detroit made them look like they're not as good as they were a year ago. Chicago's struggling. Well, they've won 4 straight, so maybe you could look back. Could you make the argument this is their best win considering the team they beat? Because Tampa's a good football team. Right. This nitpicking of what Detroit did right and wrong on social media is bothersome. And it starts with, why are they all wearing Brian Branch's jersey?
Because it's Detroit versus everybody.
I went like
keep
this.
trying to tell y'all that.
I went like this. Good for them. Yeah. Good for them. They're showing unity. What do we say all the time? Yeah. We
Solidarity, man.
We say it's about culture. That makes us look absolutely really small. It makes us look. It
looks like he's talking to you.
It does look like he's talking to you. When we talk about culture and we talk about how this team is different, that's a big reason right there. Amik Robertson wearing Brian Branch's jersey. That's a togetherness. What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. And look, at the end of the day, I think it's this win. The Baltimore win and what it did at the time, 100%. To beat Baltimore, to beat Lamar Jackson, go do it on the road. This is one of the type of wins that the Detroit fan base have been clamoring for. So if you want to talk about the feels, the Baltimore Ravens victory definitely gave you the feels. It was like, we've arrived. So what happened after Baltimore after the fact? It still gave you the feels. This is the best win because this team will be better. This team will get players back. This Tampa Bay Buccaneers team will be there at the end. You will potentially see them again. They will make noise once the end of November hits. That's the team you just beat. I don't care who was playing. I don't care what the score was. You just beat that team. They were 5-1 when you played them. They came in here and they lost. You sent them back to Tampa. Now you get to rest on the bye week at 5-2. Get guys back. Get guys healthy. This is the best win of the season, and not to mention they're number 1 in your conference. At least they were until you beat them. I think it was the biggest win of the season for the Detroit Lions, and the fact that you can get a secondary to play like that.
Holy crap.
Like the fact that Kelvin Shepard can inspire so much in his guys and that his guys within the team, Amik Robinson led the way last night for that secondary. The fact that you can get guys to respond like that. You know, all analysts, I don't care if it was us, I don't care if it was, I don't care about anybody else. We wanted to know, what does it look like when your DB1 is out, your DB2 is out, your safety 1 is out, your safety 1B is out. What does that look like?
Yeah.
And they answered in kind. So last night, Ryan, I know you're chomping at the bit. Go ahead. What you got, big fella?
I thought it was the best win of the year by far, and I loved the Baltimore win. But again, something that I've heard a little bit from the national, it's not a massive storyline, but again, we talk about moving the goalposts with the Lions. It seems like every time they win, the national media moves the goalposts. Yeah. That's our first win against a team above 500 last night. The Ravens were 1-1, the Bears were 0-1, and then the Browns and Bengals weren't. But I think this is a massive win for us. I think it's the best win. It's the best part about it is it made Baker Mayfield look silly at times. He was missing wide open throws. I know he was sped up a couple of times, and the pass rush got to home. But they made Baker Mayfield look silly at times. That Tez Johnson throw, the fourth quarter, should have been 6, but he missed it.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think he missed a lot of wide open guys. He missed some throws that he usually makes. That's number 1. Number 2, if people are going to your point, if people are going to take away what Detroit against Baltimore because Baltimore's not very good, then you better give them extra credit for what they did against Chicago, since Chicago now has a winning record.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
It just seems like they move the goalpost every time
Absolutely
we win a game.
They do. But did you think the Detroit fan base is any different than anybody else?
No.
By dissing their team at times like this? Like, I don't know how you can't be proud of what your team did last night.
Yeah.
We're talking about 51 consecutive opportunities here where this team could have lost back-to-back games, and they did not.
That's
okay.
Facts.
That's impressive. That's the longest since Green Bay in 2018 through 2022 of 53 consecutive. What does that tell you? You and I have talked about this before. The preparation. Kelvin Shepard deserves a game ball and then some.
Nah, he deserves all of them.
He really does.
Him and Jahmyr Gibbs deserve the only game balls from last night. Like what he was able to create with this defense, a lacking defense, and then those guys lick their chops on the Tampa Bay side. Oh man, we're going against 4 backups. Not only did they do the job, not only were they in position and gave up a couple plays, but they won more plays than they gave up. They shut down every play.
Yeah.
Whiteside, side note, shout out to the individuals from Michigan. I feel like Michigan now has like 5 or 6 guys that are from the state of Michigan, like Whiteside, like Nowalski, Aiden Hutchinson, and the list goes on. Tesla, there you go. That understand who the Lions are. Not only, Shep, did they play well, Whiteside had 4 passes on him. Shep, he had 3 pass deflections. 3 pass deflections. That means they went after him. They targeted him.
Right.
They said, he's the backup. We're going to him. Not only did he defend Emeka Egbuka, who's played as one of the best receivers in the league so far this season, he defends the pass, which means he knocked the ball down, so there never was an issue with pass interference, doing something undisciplined, defensive holding. They played the T. They played. Deshae Townsend, kudos to you. They played above and beyond last night, and they deserve all the credit. Like, Baker Mayfield looked flustered, and the big fella was back in the middle, and you saw the result. Because to your point, Ryan, there were some throws that we know Baker can make. Yeah. I'm talking about Baker at Oklahoma, Baker at Cleveland, Baker with the Rams, Baker with Carolina, Baker now. He can make those throws.
Yep.
They were way off the mark.
Yep.
To your point.
And because Detroit had some sticky coverage. They had 12 passes defended last night.
That's nuts.
Okay. That's really impressive. The only thing I'd take issue, I don't think it's just Kelvin Shepard and Jahmyr Gibbs who deserve game balls, because I thought Aleem McNeil, and I watched him specifically because of what you said. You said he's going to help others along that defensive line, and damn it, he did. And he was an impactful player. He helped Aiden Hutchinson with 5 quarterback hurries. He helped those guys in the secondary, okay? He did it. But Kelvin Shepard, maybe it's instilling the confidence, him and Dan Campbell instilling the confidence.
Yeah.
I get the Gibbs thing for sure offensively, but he runs 78 yards because Tate Ratledge and Penei Sewell carved out a hole that we could drive your limousine through.
And it goes back to Kelvin Shepard. What that goes back to is how they practice, how they operate, how they prepare. Getting back to it, how you prepare is a real thing. And here in Detroit, the culture that they've created with the players that Dan doesn't have to say much.
Yeah.
There's Amon-Ra that's talking. There's Penei Sewell. And, man, I got a treat for you. We got a little sneaky Braylon's breakdown today. Not in depth, but we got a sneaky one on a Tuesday, day after Lions win. Penei Sewell, we'll show you the video footage. But they have the culture in. The players, they do it themselves. They police themselves. They watch film themselves. They do extra stuff themselves. Yeah. And one thing I remember about playing in the league, teams that are successful, the 2s, the 3s, the scout team guys, they still prepare like 1s. They prepare like 2s. They prepare like they're going to be called. So when the number is called, they're not just guys that, oh, man, I back up Amon-Ra St. Brown. I back up Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, I'll never see the field. Yeah. Or I back up this guy. I never see the field.
These guys always act like they're
100%. They're all because that's self-policing.
Right.
If Amon-Ra St. Brown is going in to watch film, if DJ Reed is going in to watch film, if Penei Sewell is going in to watch film, why aren't you going? Mm-hmm. If the best of their position are going to watch film, and that's what they do and they prepare, because those guys came on the field, Shep, they were in the right spots the entirety of the game. They weren't out of position maybe once or twice. The other guys on the side get paid too. But outside a couple times, man, those guys were in perfect position, and they played well all night long. It got to the point where they were even smiling during the game.
Who led the team in tackles? Jack Campbell and Eric Hallett. Okay, each with 8. And Hallett led the team in solo.
A lot of people would say who?
With 6. All of us.
That's what we were saying.
Right? All of us were, right? And then we just talked about the passes defended. Yeah. I mean, it was beautiful. Last night, I tweeted this out. This caught my ear right away. Troy Aikman said this, and I thought it was awesome, okay? And obviously because it's about Detroit. He said, quote, "This is one of the best defensive efforts I've ever seen."
Yeah, he did.
And I thought to myself, here's a dude who's won 3 Super Bowls. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Played a long time in the NFL and has played just as long as an analyst in the booth. He's seen a lot of football. He didn't say it was the best defense he's ever seen. What he said was, because that would be ridiculous.
Right.
But what he did say is it's the best defensive effort, or one of the best defensive efforts he's ever seen. Yeah. Damn it, you guys, that's coaching, okay? That's players buying in for sure. That's a player-led locker room without a doubt. But that is coaching. When you're talking to guys who were on the practice squad last week, and other guys who just got here, and other guys
on the couch,
who they don't even know their teammates' names, and they may not even be totally familiar with all the defensive schemes.
Yep.
For them to play as passionately and as responsibly as they did, that is coaching, man.
And I wanted to add as well to this conversation, because last year when they lost all those players on defense, they highlighted towards the end of the season how Calvin Shepard had designed stunts to get the linebackers home. You talk about everybody who Aleem helped. Those linebackers, Derek Barnes got home last night. And just having that was part of the conversation we talked about yesterday on the show. What was he going to cook up with those linebackers? And the fact that secondary basically played a lot of man, stuck to their guys, played physical, it allowed those linebackers to help apply pressure. And with Aleem McNeil being there and picking up extra offensive linemen on him, it just continued to keep Baker Mayfield off balance all night long.
Do you know who led this team in? You know who led this team in sacks last night? A guy who was on Dallas' practice squad, Tyrus Wheat. Yeah. He had 1.5. He led the team. Oh, they had 4 sacks last night.
Yep.
He had 1.5. And throw myself under the bus. When they acquired him, and we all wanted Zadarius Smith, or we had to have, let's be in the conversation for Trey Hendrickson, or can we save Max Crosby from Las Vegas? And I said, Tyrus Wheat ain't going to cut it, man. Well, guess what? Shut up. Because he cut it for that game. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be an all-pro. It doesn't mean I would want him instead of the aforementioned players. But this coaching staff finds a way to get the most out of its players, and there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys, I mean, first and foremost, when you come into this league, you got to have some talent. Like, to make the league, to get into the NFL, I don't care if you were drafted, undrafted, however you made it to the squad, however you got in the league, you deserve to be here. Because this is a tough fraternity to crack. Trust me, I know. I saw a lot of guys that I thought were good that did not make it to the NFL. It just is what it is.
Both in college and the NFL.
100%.
You saw them, they didn't stick and stay.
Didn't stand by the wayside.
That's why you have so much respect for it, and so do I. Yeah. The passion, but the talent that you have to have every day to just practice and stand out speaks volumes.
So with that said, to make this NFL says a lot about you. Now, when you can get into the right spot, Shep, when you get to a situation where you have a head coach that gets it, you have his team that gets it, everything around them gets it, and the energy at the energy at Ford Field, the energy at Allen Park, the way they take the field, the way they are together, the way they joke together, the way they are with their coaches, the doors are always open. Like when you're leaving a situation, he left Dallas. You know what he's seeing? You know what the energy is that he's seeing? Now, I'm not trying to make this long story about Tyrus Wheat, but he had 2.5, so we're going to talk about him. The energy he left, it's chaotic. It's unnerving. It's unhinged all the time, and this is how they operate regularly. You come here and you see this, and they took a chance on you, and there's some opportunity. I'm going to do everything in my damn power to make sure I echo what you guys are doing. I want to be a reflection of that. So Tyrus Wheat is a reflection of, wait, this air is really nice over here. This coach seems to get it over here. You know, these players are cool. There's a chance for me here. There's good energy. So that's what you saw. He went out there. He got his chance, and he was ready. He prepared like it. That new energy in the right place, I've seen it. When you go from one thing, I went from Cleveland to New York with Rex when it was first cooking. I was like, all right, what do you guys need me to do? I'll mop, I'll sweep, I'll clean up. I'm just ready to get this thing rocking and rolling because I can feel it. And that's
team
what
player.
said.
Yeah.